You're observing it without reacting to it.
Correct. And then once I feel like I've absorbed it enough and I've formulated an opinion on something, it's usually a better one than what I would initially have had if I immediately said I had an opinion on something. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Marius?
The eagle agrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, the more time I spend in nature, it's like I've been finding a harmony with it talking with me,
mm-hmm.
and listening.
Definitely.
Listening.
Anyway, she lives right behind Weimar, and so I wake up at 8 a.m. to like all these noises that when I didn't live in the country, I kind of became adjusted to. So now I hear them all. I wake up and there's trucks unloading stuff, and there's people slamming car doors, and there's sirens blaring. And I miss the bliss of my home when I'm not there.
Yeah.
It's definitely good. I think everyone should get out more and
Yep.
do this type of thing, even though we're right next to a road right
Well, we're going deep into it. We're
Yeah.
forest bathing with Logan, one of my favorite humans.
Thank you.
Seriously, man. I like your head and heart. I've said that before, but it's true.
Thank you, sir.
Because
Thank you too.
life's crazy. Thank you. I hear that. Life is this life on this planet is a unique situation.
Yeah, especially right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could say that in any period of time,
That's true.
right? And but zooming out, like big picture, we might have talked about this before with optimism.
Yeah, we have.
If you zoom out completely, it's getting better.
Definitely.
Yeah. And it's hard to see, and that's probably triggering for a lot of people to hear.
Yeah.
But that might be the hill I die on. Is I do believe the universe is a friendly place, and it's a slow progression of growth to how things can be better. And the reason it's so slow is because of grace. Like, having a kid,
Yeah.
I get frustrated. Any parent will. It's like, how can you not understand?
Right.
It's like, okay, well, you're a kid.
Yeah.
So you just, right?
Yeah.
So your grace kicks in, and I feel like the universe is like, okay, planet Earth. Like, get with it. How do you, oh, yeah, okay, you're young.
Yeah.
You're young. I was joking with somebody about the whole pandemic and how Mama Earth is like, all right, everybody, you're grounded. Go to your room.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Go to your room. Think about what you've done. Oh, you can't come out yet until you learned. What? No, you still stay in your room.
Yeah.
Like, literally, we've been grounded by Mother Earth.
Yeah.
And Mother Earth is like, finally some
back.
Peace.
Yeah, the animals roam the neighborhoods.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. It's another optimistic way of looking at it. Like, things are getting better.
Definitely. And after our last talk, we did talk a lot about optimism in the big picture and stuff. And you were more on the optimistic side, and I was definitely more on the pessimistic side. But I've definitely tried to shift towards the optimism. And I've tried to just kind of be a better person, be more helpful to my friends and family. And I definitely think that that's more valuable than just being upset all the time. I'm sure there's some people out there who can see like, oh man, the world is in such a bad spot. How can I help to change it? Which I guess is kind of an optimistic look with a little bit of a pessimistic initiation to it, but that's not the type of person I am. When I'm pessimistic, I tend to hunker down in that, and I'm like, there's nothing I can do to help anything, and I just kind of dwell on it, and then I feel like that makes me a worse person overall. But when I shifted to the optimism, it helped me look at every situation that way, big or small, and I feel better about my life because of it, and I think those around me probably would agree that I'm a better person when I'm more optimistic. So I've shifted towards that a bit.
Ever forward.
Ever forward.
Yeah, no, my last video podcast was with Healing Hands Sanctuary.
Okay. Is that
Helping Hands Healing Sanctuary.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Katie's farm.
Okay.
And her mom, started it.
Yeah.
And one thing I really liked that she said was, we talked about the suffering of the world and how, I've found peace on these trails,
right?
Like on my own, like a deeper peace and feeling of connection and love where I'm full. Like, why would I want anything else?
Yeah.
And so I've experienced that. And so I get frustrated when I know things can be self-fulfilling with nothing.
Right.
And then I look at this world and the amount of suffering, I don't understand it. Mm-hmm. My existential mind goes off, and we commiserate with that, right? Like,
yeah.
And how can there be that? How can that inner peace and love be so true when there's so much horrible suffering going on, has gone on, is going on, will go on on this silly planet? How do you reconcile that, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the ultimate philosophical question, and any wisdom tradition too, that comes down to that, like justifying suffering, like making sense of the amount of suffering that we're in.
Right. Well, didn't Buddha say existence is suffering?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that. So it's a whole thing,
Yeah.
And her answer was, yes. So the best she can do with that is live into the best, I guess, focus or participation, like we were talking about earlier, on a day-to-day level.
Right.
Finding that inner peace, that inner joy, that inner love, and then create a ripple effect is all you can do. Like, it has to start internally. And so, like, when I find peace on these trails in the morning, that's my starting point.
Okay.
And then from that, the ripple effect goes out.
Right.
I'm not dependent on any external factors, beliefs, what the world's doing or not doing, or politically, in my work, money wise, like, it has to start. It was funny. I had somebody ask me, like, "Oh, you're super spiritual. What spiritual group are you with?" And I was like,
"My own."
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not part of a spiritual group. My spiritual journey is being in relationship with the divine spark that lives within on a daily morning practice.
Right.
And then from that, I see that everybody is in my spiritual family. Everyone is my brother and sister. There's no difference.
Right.
And so I found that interesting, where there's this kind of like, I don't know, need to be part of a group, when I think maybe the solve is we're all in the same group on this crazy Earth spaceship that's hurling around the sun. Like, we're all in the same group. We're all doing this together. The less division is better.
Correct. I agree.
The more connection is beneficial, and in a way that our mind wants to. Oh yeah, get it.
No tan lens this time.
And our mind wants to make divisions to survive, right? I mean,
yeah.
And so then you got to befriend your mind and your ego, because the ego is all about, I am this, you are that, so I can survive.
Right.
Cool, thanks, ego. That's not working. Also, I know you're trying to keep me alive on this very dangerous planet, so I'm learning to befriend my ego, but to not define me.
Right.
Like, it's a helper, but it's not me.
Right.
So Yeah.
Yeah,
I just talked a lot.
No, that's fine.
Look at this. This is beautiful.
It is.
I literally live in a slice of heaven.
Right?
Dude, this is my morning jam. I was here this morning running this exact trail.
Yeah, it's beautiful here.
Like it brings you this is where I feel my deepest peace and love, where I'm like, I need nothing more.
Right? I kind of feel the same way. My preference would be a beach, of course.
Well, everyone's has
Yeah,
their
everyone's
nature
got
jam.
their own little slice of preference of paradise. But this is still great. I love Hag Lake. I love being in this area. And just listen. Nothing.
I love that you said that, because I'll put my headphones in and I'll go for the run. And then when I get to this exact trail, I take the headphones out and I just listen. This is my listening trail.
Yeah, it's a great, just stopping and listening. I do this a lot. What I want to know is why we get too attached to like other things that aren't this. Like when I was a kid, you know, I come home from school. And I immediately would drop off my bag inside and I'd run to the playground that was at our apartment complex. And then when it was dark, I had to come back inside. That's when video game time was, or TV time was. But I never looked forward to those things. And now it's kind of the opposite. When I think of going to Hag Lake, I think of, ooh, there might be a line. There might be a ton of people. Like, maybe I can't find a spot to sit down or set up. But there's always space. Why can't I just be excited? This is the pessimistic, I think. Pessimism inside of me is still there. But it's not just like here as an example. It's kind of with a lot of things. A good example, I think, is I was talking about pumpkin patches recently and how a bunch of the popular ones had closed. And like Sauvie Island is now the only real place to go to a pumpkin patch that I know of. I'm sure there's more. But the last time I went, it was already so crowded and packed and everything. And it kind of took the joy out of it for me. So now I don't want to go this year because of it. But it's kind of like tradition. It's like I feel like I should want to go and experience the pumpkin patch of picking up the pumpkin, because I used to love it. I love Halloween. But I feel like it's too easy to focus on the negatives, stuff that reinforces your desire to just sit down and do nothing inside. But once I'm out here, like after this walk, I'm gonna feel so good and elated from it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I know that what the result after is going to be, but for some reason that's not enough motivation. It's kind of like working out. We know we're gonna feel great afterwards. Why don't we just do it? I'm asking you.
That's the conundrum, my man.
Yeah,
That's
I think
the
everyone's
conundrum.
got their own answers for these questions.
No, for sure.
But back to the spiritual talk. I think in school, you know, you learn about the 5 areas of wellness. 5? Do you know this? It's like
do it.
Physical, mental, spiritual, nutrition. I don't know.
Probably.
There's 5 of them.
Probably.
And you go into such depth about like eating right and staying physically active, and then, you know, keeping a good head. When they get to the spiritual section, it's like 2 sentences, and they never touch on it at all. So I feel like a lot of us are raised to not really understand that spiritualness can come from this, as opposed to going to church or whatever your
What was the 2 sentences?
That's just my example. So like if it's about physical activity, it might be like whole lecture for the entire day.
Yeah.
Whereas a spiritual thing might be like the last 5 minutes of class, just a quick mention.
Because it's loaded.
It's loaded.
It's loaded.
People don't talk about like you need to.
It's loaded.
Me time. You know, just me time can be spiritual. There's so much stuff that can just be a spiritual experience, like going on a walk with your buddy. We're walking in heaven, my man. Yeah,
we're walking in heaven. I love
and
this. I love this.
Yeah, it's great, and I think if more people understood that, it might be easier for people to unwind truly, not just I'm off work now. Let's come home, sit down, have a quick beer, and then I'll go to bed. But like make time for this type of stuff.
So your question is like, then why wouldn't I know to do this more?
Why don't we? Like, why don't we know?
We know and we don't know. Like there's stuff we're conscious to and there's stuff we're unconscious to.
Sure.
And the more we see true benefit, it's kind of just, I call it showing up at your messy best.
Okay.
Like realizing that, yes, there is the best thing to do, right? And you could define that however you're going to define that in your journey.
Right.
You're never going to hit that all the time.
For sure.
The worst thing to do, I find, in my life as a 40-year-old, is to not show up and use that as an excuse. Like, I can't show up because it's not perfect. That doesn't work. So I've given myself permission to be like, hey, Jason, show up at your messy best.
I like that.
Like, the best thing you can do is show up and give yourself grace and permission to be messy as you show up. Because once you show up, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, you're just there.
You're just there.
Yeah.
And so many times I get in my own head, I'm about to do this thing, meet this person, I do a podcast, do a facilitation group, and I'm like, terrified. And then I've trained my brain. I think it's about training your brain, like an elephant, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a massive, huge thing, and if you can navigate it and know how to ride it, you're winning. And so the thing that I've used to tame my brain or navigate my brain is, hey, Jason, stop. You're okay. Show up messy. You're gonna be fine.
Right. I like that.
Show up messy. Aim for best, of course.
You could put so many of your slogans just on shirts.
That's why I started the shirt thing. Well, and literally, like running the trails. This is where I get the epiphanies. Is on these trails. This is my church.
Right.
Like we're literally doing a podcast in my church. Like I have the best ideas and thoughts.
Right.
On these trails.
This is your preacher.
Is my what?
This is your preacher.
Yeah, the trails talk to me. Yeah.
Nature speaks.
Well, and it quiets my mind so that the divine spark within is easier to hear. And so whatever tool one has to do that, that's their journey. My tool is the trails. Okay. Some people, it could be actual church.
True. I'm not dismissing church at all.
It could be the float tank. It could be whatever kind of meditation they do. Yoga, right?
Meditation.
Running works for me. Mountain biking, whatever. Like, whatever is your jam that tunes you into that voice, that still small voice, and I hear it on the trails.
I think maybe that's why I appreciate the silence so much, is because with my ADHD brain, I focus like the cicadas right now. It's like that's all I can think about. Cicadas, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Whatever
you're teaching me right now. Yeah. Those birds, you're hearing them.
The bugs. I think they have cicadas.
Those are bugs.
Yeah.
Okay. So
they're just buzzing away, and like part of me is like 70% of me is focused on that noise right now. But when it's just silent, it's like now it's time for me to think about other things or just be. But when there's too much noise and stuff going around, I think this is why for me it's important to be out here or be at my country home. Where there isn't the cars and the sirens and everything that you hear in the cities.
Well, like you, it's driving.
Yeah. Driving perfect, yeah.
Because absolutely. You're in a silent box and you have one sound coming in. Yeah, that totally makes sense now.
It's just like the white noise of the road, like the car on the road.
That's your meditation.
Yeah. That's why I think I drive so much.
And that's your jam, right?
Yep.
And that's good to own that. That's good to own that and give yourself permission to like deserve that for yourself.
Right. All right, so my buddy in Montana showed me this new band I really like called the Unlikely Candidates. And they have a song called Trampoline. And there's two lines from that song that I really like. And the first one is, everybody's crazy for pretending they're not. And life's just a game and it's just your turn. And it's kind of like a more casual look and approach to things. I don't know, I think about those two lines a lot. Because, there's serious stuff in life. Not saying there isn't at all. But I think it's important to just kind of take a step back and realize that you can handle things that come into your life, whether you want them to or not. And in the end, you just got to do your best. And then everyone's crazy to pretend you're not. For pretending you're not.
Pretending you're not crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Exactly. Everyone's weird.
Yeah.
It just depends on how much you show it to everyone else. You know,
That's accurate.
You can go be a super professional boss at some CEO job or whatever, but you know, you come home, close your door, and I don't know what you do. Some weird stuff. I don't want to shame anybody's weird stuff.
Messy. We're messy.
Yeah, we're all messy, and everyone pretends that we don't have our own thing we like to, I don't know, do.
But I think it's good. It's important to aim for best. I will stick with that too. I think it's important to aim for best, not settle for, just to not, it's a weird balance of grace and aiming towards best. Like, good to aim towards perfection. I know it's a loaded word, but also doing it with grace, I think, is a healthy aim. And I can just say that because I've tried all the different ways of living and being. And I find currently that that's a healthy way. And also to be humble in that I might not know the best way.
Right.
So to listen, which we talked about already, like, what's your practice to listen? Logan, you're good chemistry, man. That's the jam with my wave, man. There's just certain people that you feel chemistry with. Like, I didn't choose you. I didn't put you on my vision board. I've been totally butchering the vision board. I have this weird relationship with vision boards. It's like, oh, I manifested that. It's like, okay, did you? Or maybe you're not. Maybe you're not that great. Maybe the universe is really friendly and they're giving you awesome things.
Yeah.
And you noticed an awesome gift you got. Yeah. Don't give yourself too much credit. Also, it's good to have goals and aims, but it's like a little ant, right? In the universe, like, I have a vision board and I'm gonna okay, good luck with that. But you're so I call it insignificantly significant, like a grain of sand on the beach. The beach would not exist without every grain of sand. So every grain of sand is insignificantly significant. But if that grain of sand's like, I'm gonna create a vision board and start a CEO, and okay, good luck with that. You're just a grain of sand.
Maybe it's a really, really good. Maybe it's an Einstein grain of sand.
Yeah. Well, there's that.
Exist.
Well, okay. So there's that, and I think it's our weird, less than, better than brains that are like, Einstein's so great, Mother Teresa's so great, Martin Luther King's so great, this person's Michael Jordan's so great. Yes, cool. Everyone's great. Stop. Also, everyone's horrible.
Yeah.
So they just are easier for our lazy minds to see how great they are.
Right. They get more recognition for it.
Yeah, because we're lazy, and the work is to see greatness in everyone.
Definitely.
To really be present and see how great the person before you is. I want to believe that everyone's a celebrity. Everyone's
the main character.
Everyone is, and the joy of life is to see the celebrity in any other person.
Right.
And I don't care who you're looking at. You're going to win if you see the celebrity in that person. And if you can pull that out in them, then they win more, quote unquote. Or just become deeper in tune with their significant, insignificant place and purpose in this giant cosmic whatever we're in.
Right.
That's I dropped the mic right there. That's my
Turn off the podcast.
That's my tombstone, dude. Yeah. Like, that's how I leave this world. Yet I find myself still here. That sounds really pretentious, but that's why I do these podcasts, is because like I've died. Like, I had cancer, or thought I had cancer. Like I have nothing more to prove. Like, kind of like, why am I still here?
Yeah.
Cool.
Do this podcast.
I guess. Like, I've lived a lot of life.
Right.
Still here, still gonna rock it, but I don't really. I don't know. I want to bring heaven here. I had this epiphany on a trail run. I'm getting really annoyed with this low frequency planet. That was how we left our last podcast, by the way.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, geez, like I know it can be better than this. I'm ready for just like, summer camp mode, like people treating people how they should treat people and just living in harmony and just thriving every day. You just don't see that in this planet that much, and it's like annoying. I know there's a better place, so like I'm not kidding. Like, be gone now.
Yeah. There's continue.
And then I had the voice say, "Okay, Jason." It just like gave me like a
Yeah, no, I completely
like this kind of like poke, like a gesture.
Yeah.
Like, all right, whoop, jerk.
Yeah.
You're not leaving anytime soon, so bring heaven here.
Yeah. What? Yeah, no, I completely get it.
Like that happened 2 weeks ago, and it was powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Bring heaven here.
Yeah, I think there's no bad. What could you possibly do to turn that into a negative situation?
Well, here's the other thing. It's like that was so recent and new to me. I'm like, okay, how do I do that? Now that's a new adventure. Now I'm excited about that new
chapter.
Yeah. If you know there's a better place, bring it here.
Definitely.
So I'm like, okay, how do I do that now?
Get your vision board out.
Well, yeah. Yeah, Logan, that's hilarious.
There's I guess it's a song day. There's a 21 Pilots song. I cannot remember the name of it, but the song essentially talks about a bunch of people walking in a straight line. So like this trail, and let's just picture it's like a stop and go kind of trail. There's people, we can't even see the end of the line. And in the song, it talks about how he stops and he like looks down there, and then he like goes down to the shore, and he loves it down there. And I don't remember what else they say in the song about him being down there, but it was a good time. And it was very different than just being in this line. In the end of the song, it talks about how he remembers this place and he falls back in line. He gets in line eventually and continues on his way. Doesn't have a happy ending, but I think getting out of the same road that everyone is currently on, of life, and finding something new is part of that process, maybe.
Yeah.
How to find that answer, how to reach peace or bring heaven here or something, is find a different way to look at things. Go find something new. How can you show, like, how can he get the 20 people ahead of him to also look down towards the shore and run down there with him? I don't know, take a break or think of a new way to do things. Maybe the line is old and stale and like, why don't we open up a new line, or, something like that. Or like, maybe we don't even know where the line's going.
Yeah, just creative, like being aware, like, because right now, like, we know this is a line to follow, but also where we could go, over there, we could follow that, but just having the awareness, like, this isn't the end all be all.
Right. And I think that's what I struggle with in my life, is every time, like, I see an opportunity come up, I see this line, and I see it as this. Like, it doesn't look this nice. It's usually just like a dirt road in, like, the desert or something. And I know at the end of the line is death. And that's just kind of the journey. It's like, okay, I got to walk this road until I die. I'm like, where's my happiness in the process? Like, there's nothing else I can do here. That's how I feel. I know it's not true. I know that here I could just go straight down the lake and jump in the water if I wanted to. Take a break. Whenever I see that path, all I see is the same forever. And so I have a struggle. I have a hard time committing to things because of that. I don't see, like, if I want to go work at whatever job, I don't see it as a temp thing. I see it as, this is my whole life forever. And unless I'm in love with the idea, I don't want to do it at all.
We should talk about process theology.
Get into it. Start it off.
Okay. I'm not life coaching you right now. I'm excited to share with you something that has helped me.
Okay.
You probably are more hyper aware than I am. So I'm gonna put this into two sections. Also, I love. This is my morning breakfast place. So
cherries?
They're plums. So I run here in the morning, and this is where I have breakfast. And what's so cool about this, Logan? It's like that plum on that tree didn't get put into a package and put into a truck and then delivered to a.
Just here.
It grew like there's nothing weird on it. It's fully, and to like think about that and then eat it. Let's do one.
There's some really dark ones up there.
Yeah.
Are the red ones ripe too? Or?
When you eat something straight from direct living, I call it. It's a powerful thing if you really appreciate it. That sounds really pretentious, but it's true. Like, if you really think about it, like, I'm eating a plum that was grown by this lake, and no unnecessary natural resources were wasted to get this plum into my mouth. Mm-hmm. There's something really special about that.
And it's so good.
Right?
I used to eat these up at work all the time.
I'm really excited we're doing this. Yeah. Pureness from this amazing tree by this lake. So have you heard of HSP?
No. What does it stand for?
I don't like how they're defining it, so I've rephrased it to amplified nervous system.
Okay.
ANS. ANS. Because they call it HSP, which is some scientific research that came out in the 90s. Highly sensitive people. Mm-hmm. But the word sensitive is loaded. Mm-hmm. So people are like, oh, you're sensitive. Okay, well, just get over yourself. Like, but that they're using it purely in the scientific terms of something is more sensitive into taking in information than another.
Right. I know what you're...
So I call it an amplified nervous system. So what the research is saying that your nervous system, genetically, 20% of the population has a nervous system that you're just born with a nervous system that is amplified. And so when the bugs that you heard over there, your nervous system is amplified. So you're taking in way more all the time than the majority of the population. Mm-hmm. So that's your blessing and your curse.
Oh, it's awful. 90%.
It's awful, but it's also your superhero strength. Mm-hmm. So I've been learning. I think I have it too, but probably not to the extent that you have it. And probably that's why we resonate with each other. Mm-hmm. Is because it's like, man, I'm feeling something weird in a room, or I feel an energy before I get to a room.
We were talking about this last time too, kind of.
Yeah.
Gut feeling.
Yeah, and like nobody else is feeling weird, so then I feel like a jerk. Yeah. And I'm learning, like, okay, no, that's my superpower. It's not what's wrong with me; it's what's right with me.
So I always forget the name. So I was diagnosed with ADHD, brought up earlier. There's actually something that usually coincides with that you're describing right now, mm-hmm. And I don't think it's HSP. It could be. It's an abbreviation, three letter thing.
It's a lot. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, but it's describing this exact thing. You're more hyper aware of, I don't know, other people's emotions and mm-hmm. Just the world around you. So noticing
your nervous system's amplified, man.
Here and there, and it's really hard to get out of that. Like when I can't find a way to escape it, it destroys me. Like if I stay too long in there. That's why I think, again, getting in the silence is so nice.
Yes.
Because it allows me to notice the wind. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's nice. Some people are talking. It's pretty quiet. Allows me to have conversations like this without having to try and filter out the world at the same time.
Mm-hmm. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, super overwhelming.
And then people are like, are you okay? And it's like, no. No,
you don't seem okay.
Yeah. I don't even know if I'm okay. I don't even know the concept of okay because I'm just like blasted with overwhelming sensation.
Yeah.
And then I'm learning. Okay, well, guess what? I'm gonna be in nature. I can't. I have boundaries now. Like I know my boundaries. Like no cities. Nope. I'll never live in a city.
Same.
Like that's not a choice for me.
Yeah.
And it's not like this pretentious thing like, oh, look at me, I'm in nature and I'm so great. I'm like, no, this is how I survive.
Yeah. No, I get that totally. Like I was miserable until I moved out to this house. I think has a huge impact on my life. Just being outside, like literally, I praise it so much. The quiet and the peace that I get from just waking up to no sounds, aside from like some birds and some bugs, is so nice compared to the cars and everything. I'm sure there are people out there who find comfort in hearing the traffic, being surrounded by the city. People live in New York and things like that, right? Mm-hmm. That's not me. I can't have that.
Yeah. And that's, I think the world is thirsty for that too. It's thirsty to calm down and live with nature, but also understand there's a place for, innovation and hard work, and
Definitely.
It's just a little out of balance right now. But we're finding our speed.
Right.
I think Elon Musk is a hero in that, seeing it as it is.
Okay.
I kind of look to him as a tech shaman.
Okay. I don't know much about him. I know kind of what he does and what he's done.
Yeah.
But I don't know much about him as a person.
He is apparently one of the smartest humans.
Okay.
And on the Joe Rogan podcast, he was asked, what would you leave the world with? I love that question. And he's like, Elon Musk said, one of the smartest guys. It's like, just everyone just be a little more kind, a little more loving.
Seriously.
And
Seriously, please.
This is an engineer. This is a rational brain.
Right.
To the max is saying kind of like a saintly-esque thing.
Right.
I'm like, so then you're telling me, Elon Musk, it's more intelligent, the most intelligent thing to do as a human species is to be more loving and kind.
Right.
Okay.
It's true.
Like,
All right. Can anyone disagree?
yeah, I
The
mean,
kinder we are to each other, the more we can cooperate with each other, the faster we advance in technology and everything.
yeah.
Right? So, yeah, by default, I think that is the correct answer.
Yeah, it's not this like Pollyanna hippie kumbaya thing. It actually has some rational, intellectual premise. I like that. It's like, I noticed that. I'm like, okay, this is what apparently currently the smartest guy in the world is telling us.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I can embrace that.
Same.
Because I'm a big fan of science and I'm a big fan of family and connection and
Right.
loving and respect and living with, not against.
Right.
So I love that he captured that. And Mr. Logan,
Yes.
process theology.
Okay. Here we go.
I think you'll enjoy this. And I kind of want to unpack this more with you. Like, I feel like I need to learn more about it, and I want to learn more about it with you.
Okay.
Because I like how your brain works, like I've said. But, so yeah, this guy, philosopher, mathematician, theologian, quantum physicist, or at least interested in quantum physics. Well, before his time, he wrote this like really thick book called Process Reality.
Okay.
And he was quoted as a babbling old man professor by his students in like the 1920s. They didn't understand what he was talking about. Ahead of his time.
Right. Yeah,
So
you were telling me about this last time a bit.
Yeah, his book came out, and it's kind of been rediscovered. And the idea is that the concept of God is the ultimate mathematician, living with us, not above us, or something that happens after we die. This concept of God is living with us, and every choice that we make, individually and collectively as humans, God is calculating the next best probable choice for every individual human.
Yeah, you're hitting a lot of bells right now in my head, or a lot of them are going off. So, yeah, continue. I know where you're going, I think, with this. Also, real quick.
Yeah, the plums.
Ooh, the yellow ones are so good.
I know, right? How do we get to these
I don't
yellow
think we
plums?
can. Unless we get into the poison oak.
Let's look at them here. Oh, look at that.
Those are the ones up at work. Oh, I want them so bad. There's no way. There's no way. I'm not getting poison oak right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not worth it. Yeah, there's a lot of poison.
All right, continue. Sorry.
It's funny you said that because it's one of my most favorite magical spots on my runs.
Yeah, I love this place right here.
Yeah. So the idea is
That you hold on. Can I try and complete the thought?
yeah.
That every moment you're being presented with the next best option, and it's up to you to choose that option.
Next.
Right.
That's why next is on the back of my shirt is don't get caught up in the past. That's already set. Like you're given the next best choice every 12th of a second.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so much great.
Sorry. What is this place?
Heaven.
Apple tree, plum trees. This is awesome.
Right?
I have never noticed all the fruit trees.
No, this is one of my favorite parts of the trail.
Sorry,
Dude.
I'm gonna stop interrupting now.
No, you interrupt. Like that's the whole point is being with it.
Yeah.
Like look at this flower. Like
Super pretty.
also the blackberries. I know they're invasive,
Oh yeah, super.
but
they taste good.
they're delicious. We're gonna hit Blackberry Alley in a little bit. Yeah, there's some plums.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Woo. Yeah. So when I get in my head, when I go crazy, I just rest in that. Like, oh, right here and now, I can get out of my head and trust that the next possible choice is already ahead of me, and all I have to do is lean into it.
Right.
And then when you open yourself up to that, or what I find when I open myself up to that, it's so loving and it's so graceful. Mm-hmm. It sees you before you see yourself.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, I see. Thank you for hearing me, Jason. That's usually what I hear. Here's the next thing to do.
Yeah, last time we talked about this, I started the same exact thing, trying to apply it more. And I don't think I did it for a long time actually, but I don't think it became a habit. I think you know what, I actually don't know if I just didn't realize I was doing it anymore or what, but I definitely still followed that, or tried to follow that. Like, okay, I'm not doing great right now. What can I do? What's around me? How do I fix it now? Like, what options do I have? And I try to immediately take something. When I medicate for my ADHD, mm-hmm. I find myself in these moments where I sit down, or I'm doing something, or I'm sitting at my computer desk, and I could be talking to friends, I could be playing games, I could be watching TV, or YouTube videos, or whatever. I could be doing a plethora of different things. But instead, I'm just sitting there, and I'm miserable. And I know that I could do something, but instead of just doing it, I just think about how it's not going to be as good as I want it to be right now, so I just don't do anything. But when I break the cycle and I just do literally anything, it's better. I feel better. Getting out of my own head. Just kind of going with the flow of things. And so I like the pocket scale. Yeah, pretty others.
Appreciate you, Logan.
Yeah, man. Likewise.
I hear you. And I hear when you say your struggles, I relate to your struggles. Struggle is real,
yeah,
as they say. The struggle is real. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at this. It's like a golden field.
So nice. I think the last time I was over here was like beginning of COVID. And down over there was still underwater.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I guess the point is the struggle's real. Like, I don't got it all figured out, man. Like, every day I struggle. Every day. And also, I've found peace, and I have moments of that experience of grace where it all makes sense.
Right.
And I think the answer is to aim for that. However, you find that grace, that self-compassion, that frees you from whatever definition of you thinking you're not enough.
Right.
Really, that's, dude. Like, I'm not enough. I gotta do more. I gotta do more. I gotta be this. I gotta be that. But to relax into who we are, and thriving in that. But even in that, you'll judge yourself. Oh, I'm not thriving. Oh, I'm not relaxing enough. Mm-hmm. Like, you really do have to completely surrender, like, actually.
Yeah.
Into you're enough. You're unconditionally here, and you're part of the cosmos. You are the cosmos. Mm-hmm. And our brain is getting in the way.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's a supercomputer.
Yeah. With a lot of bugs in it.
With a lot of bugs in it, and realizing your brain is a tool, but it's not who we are.
Right.
And I'm saying that right now, in this moment, tomorrow morning, and I'm gonna be hating life. Yeah.
It's really easy to do. I think.
I mean, that's the struggle, man. Yeah, like, it's not going away.
No. Yep. It's hard. It's hard to, and then the worst is when you get stuck in there, stuck in that thought process of just all the negative.
But then it's like befriending that,
mm-hmm.
not resisting it. What is the negative telling you? That's what I've learned with ego, with fear. I've hated my fear for so long to learn that doesn't work to hate my fear. Like, I literally put fear in, like, its own identity, and I hate it because it gets in my way. Mm-hmm. And I learned that doesn't work. So I'm learning to befriend my fear, befriend my ego, befriend my mind. Like,
so what is that?
What do you tell? I just ask it, what are you telling me? What are you telling me right now? What are you trying to? You're trying to tell me something.
Okay. Is it kind of like asking, like, is it coming from, like, a gut place? Like, why do I feel weird in the situation? Like, you kind of have a nervousness or a fear?
Anything. Like, when you get blissed out, right? Like, you're in, like, when I run trails, I'm like,
getting the flow or the...
You're in whatever we're going to call in.
Yeah.
And then you're out of it.
Suddenly. That's the worst.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
And it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And no one is exempt from that. I think that's what brings us on, like, the same playing field.
Definitely.
I don't care who you are. The suck sucks.
Yep.
Right? But the suck is trying to tell you something. That's what I'm learning. So when you get off it, or whatever on it is, or off it is, it's like, I'm learning to say, instead of resisting it, I'm learning to say, what are you trying to tell me? Mm-hmm. You're trying to tell me something. Yeah. Fear, ego, pride, whatever horrible thing that you're trying to resist. Mm-hmm. What resists persists, right? Like,
I find that I feel like I don't encounter fear too much. It's more anxiety or...
Oh, those are two different things?
I guess you could kind of put them in the same category.
What's your vibe? What's your vibe with everything? I kind of feel like walking back.
You can walk back.
Do we want to do trail or road?
Definitely trail.
All right. I love it. Thank you.
Definitely not road. I would much rather be just scared of something than be worried about something. Does that make sense? Like, if we were out here at night, I'd rather be worried about a cougar coming up and attacking us, like thinking about the next 20 years of my life.
Oh, yeah. You want more immediate. Oh, hi.
Howdy. Sorry about that.
You want more immediate, palpable fear.
Yeah,
as opposed to this, like,
consistent, persistent fear. Like maybe.
Oh, dude, yeah.
You got something due on Monday, right? And you haven't started.
This is where, like, back to process theology, like, trusting you and me in my younger 20s, my friends and family will tell you I am the worst, or was the worst, at making decisions.
Okay.
Because I would want to make the best possible choice, and I need
yep.
to know all the variables. I need to know all the variables,
Yep.
and if there's not enough variables, there's more variables, and then all this, and so I was wanting to be. I took it upon myself to be the best mathematician. It's insanity because there's no way that I can know all the variables.
Right.
So I've had to learn to surrender that to the ultimate mathematician and trust. Yes, I'm doing my best, and let it go. And that's where the process theology comes in. The next thing is like, we are given a lure every moment in trusting that that's already calculated for us. So you get to let that go, but that's your journey. I can't, when the classic one, I think we said this before, but when the pain of staying the same is greater than change, and change will happen. Like when it gets too painful to try to calculate the best probable choice in your next step,
you miss the step.
You have to let it go. Yeah. And I'm just saying that from my own experience.
No, I relate, because I do the same thing. When I think I've found something that I'm passionate about, or I really want to get into, fitness, computer science, whatever, I get too into it. And then in the process of getting too into it initially, because I want to exceed and excel at it, I ruin it in the process.
Define ruin it. What does it mean to ruin it?
I ruin my love for it, or my liking of the thing.
Because it becomes an obsession?
It becomes...
not a joy?
Yeah, I definitely have an obsessive personality when it comes to this type of stuff. Video games, if I find something that's progression-based or something, or if it's a job that I'm really interested in, or a subject that I'm really interested in, I go all out into that thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And I find that, I don't know if it's, I learn too much about it, and then I focus only on the bad of that thing, and then I end up not liking that thing anymore. And that's definitely a fault. But I have a hard time accepting the faults of the things that I want to like, I think. Maybe it's because I'm too obsessed with perfection, like we were talking about. It's like I want my thing to be perfect, right?
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but I also have a really, really hard time getting past that obsession of it. So like if I want to do fitness or whatever, I want to have the most up-to-date, best knowledge on every subject in fitness. Nutrition, lifts, styles of training, etc., 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 etc. And when in fitness, everyone has their own opinion, and everyone tries to market their way as the best way of doing everything. It's just, I hated it so much.
You know what? If you want,
What's up?
I think the book of Ecclesiastes would be good. Would be healthy for you to read.
Okay.
And I'm not life coaching you right now. I'm saying
you're not charging me $300 an hour. You're not life coaching.
I'm saying this as a way of like, I see you and I hear you, and I do the same thing. And that book has helped me out in just the consistent verbiage of it's all vanity.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
Like
life's just a game, and it's just your turn.
It's silly. Yeah, it's silly. Exactly. It's all. There's a level of this life that doesn't matter, and we put too much importance on it.
Right.
And we identify it with our self-worth and whatever, our identity. Right. And in the scheme of things, the book points out it's all vanity. It's all wind. It's all dust in the wind. It's all. Right. It really doesn't matter. So make those things less important, and then you're free from them. But you got to see it in that context to really.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think I recognize what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's hard to break that thought cycle because, again, from the second year in like 7th grade, you better start thinking about what you want to do for the rest of your life.
I know, it's ridiculous.
It's like, what do you mean? The forever?
Yeah.
It's like, that's so permanent.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I want to dress, how I want to dress.
Well,
you want me
so that's where I think you need to accept your gift. Not a lot of people think like you do. Majority of people need to hear that to get off their ass and not be lazy. So
you want me to be a life coach?
I don't know, man. Do your journey, but it's. I guess I'm just saying, like, see what's right with you, not what's wrong with you. Like,
Right.
I feel like you have a gift, and what's hard to identify is not a lot of people are talking to you how you need to be talked to because you're so unique. Also, everyone's unique, but also there are categories. And a lot of people need to get their, like, get with the program.
Yeah.
But people that think as much as you do and are, like, their mind's super quick, like, you actually need to slow down. Like,
Yeah.
like and that's okay. So accept that, and it's okay. Like, it's fine. You're fine. Like, you're enough. You are enough.
I guess definitely self-deprecation is a problem. I think everyone struggles with that.
Oh, for sure.
What I've struggled with and what I've asked myself a lot is, because I do notice, like, I have a hard time sticking with things, even things that I do like, if I get bored. And I get bored real fast. If
What
I'm
is
not
that?
given enough to do or enough
Okay.
thought-provoking things, you know? And so I like to switch things up. So, like, you know,
What's wrong with that?
how do you make
What
a
is
career
that?
out of it?
Is that something
How
that's?
do I make a living out of it?
Is that okay?
That's my question. It's
Okay.
like, how can I take what I am and make it something I can enjoy and live,
That
make an income out of?
and that's what I would say. I have found answers to those questions on my trail run, on my solo inner peace time, still small voice time, like
Yeah.
that whatever on your drives. What does your drive tell you? When you ask that question on a drive, what will it tell you? Maybe you need to go on a drive, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't tell. I don't know that answer. Like,
Yeah. Well, that's.
but when you're in that zone, you'll know.
I have some ideas. It's just I have no idea how they could be possible right now.
Okay, but
And you know, a lot of it comes with I would love to. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Eminem.
dude, you're epic. Eminem, by the way, playing.
Money, like the things I want to do involve me being my boss. And I don't know how
You're an entrepreneur.
Yeah, kind of. Like, but I also don't have any crazy ideas. Like, I just want to do my thing that I feel like I would bring joy to people, and I would get to do what I want to do and love.
That sounds great.
Like, I don't need excessive money. I don't need a bunch of stuff. I just want to do my thing
Yes,
with people, and
Yeah.
hopefully I can impact their lives so they have a better life.
that sounds like that's your celebrity. Like, you're rocking you and helping those around you. That's what makes you a celebrity. Well, we're all you just
It's
becoming
just
aware of
hard
that.
to, like, I worry that I come off as lazy. Because it doesn't seem like I'm always doing stuff.
Why does that matter? What is it?
Well, you know, you got people that look at you got your parents, very great parents,
Sure.
you got your family, friends, and whatever.
Sure. Have they ever been called lazy?
Maybe.
So they're probably projecting that on you. Like,
Well, I'm also not calling them out at all. They've been supportive insanely. I'm very fortunate, but I still, it's self-deprecation kind of.
yeah.
I feel like I'm looking lazy. They haven't said it, but I am saying it for them.
That's the
But I'm constantly struggling with my thing and what can I do? Because I know if I get into a thing I don't resonate with or like, I'm gonna end up leaving, or I'm gonna end up having like a I don't know, like a bipolar episode.
What's shown up? What's shown up in your life that's healthy, independent of you? Get back to the wave thing. Like,
Independent.
what consistently is in your face, independently of what you tell yourself you should do or shouldn't do, and it's just right there. Like,
My dog.
okay,
My land.
Okay.
Are those acceptable answers?
I don't know. I don't know.
Those things are there, and they bring me happiness, and they're just there. They're not projecting anything on me.
So when you say your dog, what do you? Your dog and your land, I'm curious about too. Like, because you've talked about, I've heard you say, being in nature is super helpful. Is that your main thing?
It feels like something I can do there. We have a garden. We have wood that we can chop wood, whatever. There's stuff for me to do there.
But also, I would say tech.
Yeah, I like tech too.
Tech, you like, when I think of you, man, like, you're a tech genius.
I'm good with technology.
You are good with technology.
But I feel like the happier I am overall in life, the less I'm actually using it.
Yeah.
So I don't like to lean on my games or whatever. Sure, it's a nice way, like if it's hot in 90 degrees and I just kind of want to hang out and recover from being outside all day or something, yeah, I'll come home and I'll play some video games. Or, if my mom needs help setting up stuff or transferring photos, I can do that too. But I find that the happier I am, the more I want to be away from my computer.
Interesting. And you're so good at it. That's fascinating. Interesting. Nature calls, I think.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Yeah, I want to be, when I worked out here, I had a great time. Like, look, I lost 40 pounds. I had a great, 5 summers? It was awesome. I loved it. I got to meet a lot of cool people. And I there's stressful days here and there, but overall, best experience of my life.
Yeah? That's cool, man.
I want that.
That's a thing to say. That's a thing to say.
Yeah.
You want that. You want more nature.
I want more nature. I want more people. I want more good people. I want to see people smile and have a good time, and I want to be the cause of that or the helping of that.
Yeah, and I think you're not alone in that, man. Like, I've been learning to relax more and letting those wants come to me instead of creating them. And I find the more I relax and let it, which I probably said already, but I've just become it's like a open, relaxed heart. And it's very interesting when you just do that simple kind of, even that motion, like what you will see more that's around you and embrace. Because we're so judgmental.
Absolutely.
We instantly want to categorize, like, no, I am not going to do that with you. I'm going to do this over here because of said thing, and I'm going to judge. Versus, oh, Logan just messaged me about this dance video.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, you want to hang out soon? Yeah.
Cool.
Sure. Like, instead of, oh, I probably should not because of whatever.
XYZ.
But also, I'm open to hanging out with the flexibility that could change.
Right.
So I'm not even holding on to our time together. I'm excited to see you. But also, I'm okay with if that plan changes. Like, I'm not judging it.
You're a Gumby.
I definitely more of a Gumby. But also, if somebody puts before me a plan I need to execute, then I'll go Robo.
Yeah.
But I tend to lean more towards the Roma life. And I find that beneficial. Like, to be outside the box and accept what's in front of me, and let it flow to some. I've had some amazing experiences doing. I mean, the wave, man. It's all about the wave. Like, just let it, like, without judging it.
Yeah.
And then also have grace for yourself when you do judge it. Like, grace, self-compassion is so important. Like, my cousin's wife works in the psych ward in Newburgh.
Okay.
So she gets those that nobody else can
Care for her.
Yeah, so she's in the trenches of the trenches, is what I'm saying.
Right.
And she has been for a while. And pressure makes diamonds, right? So me and her have been trying to do a podcast for a while because I want to pick her brain so much. And just in the brief conversations I've had with her, she's like, Jason, number one, self-compassion. Like, accepting and loving yourself is number one. And then from that, you can get into what you talked about, the 5
areas of wellness.
Yeah. So she gets into that. Like, okay, how do you have all these areas of yourself. How do you focus on all these things in a healthy way?
Yeah.
But you can't do that without self-compassion, self-acceptance.
Right.
Which is the hardest thing to do almost.
Definitely, absolutely. It's really easy to judge yourself and not just accept your limits or know when you push too far past them. I think that's the hardest thing is like when I'm uncomfortable doing something and I push myself way past my limit and then even further past that into like the danger zone. That's when things go wrong. It's not because I want to keep pushing that past. It's more of I'm worried about everyone else, not myself.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like.
I resonate with that one for sure. That's codependency, man. That's where we struggle.
I definitely have a hard time saying no to helping people. And I love helping people, but I do feel like it's very easy for us to get taken advantage of.
Without knowing it.
Without knowing it. You just
we're
want to help and help.
Unconscious to it.
Yeah.
That's what sucks about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's why I really enjoy being single right now.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm getting back to embracing that inner peace more. Mm-hmm. And I think we talked about that before. Like, I don't think I can be healthy with another again until
you're healthy with yourself.
Healthy with myself consistently.
Right.
And that's going to be my my maturity around navigating my codependency. Mm-hmm. I have not been mature with my codependency.
Okay.
Like I haven't been. I'm a child when it comes to that. I don't know. I haven't been educated on that. Right. I think I've had enough experiences where now I'm educated with it. It's like the season of my life is like, all right, Jason. Time to get over the codependency. I didn't even know that was a problem.
Yeah.
Right? So.
I will say, I think it also can make a huge difference. So my new relationship, her name's Nat, and I feel so comfortable around her. Like, literally do not need to hide anything. There's no false expectations on either side.
Full transparency.
Full transparency. Like, too much transparency sometimes.
Nice.
Yeah. But it's refreshing, and I don't feel pressure ever. It's always a comfort, being around this person. But I don't know why I'm sharing this. I think I just wanted to give it, oh wait. There's a family here. There's a little Bambi down there. It's kind of hard to see him on the camera. I think the dad might be a little further down too. Anyway, I guess I wanted to just share that little bit because I know you talked about you can't be healthy in a relationship until you're healthy with yourself. But are you still open to, like, if that person were to walk into your life right now, the person you can be comfortable with and have zero false expectations with and full transparency, would you let him in?
With caution.
With caution? Okay.
Caution, yeah.
How will you know when you're ready?
Well, I don't know, man. Like, I didn't think I was ready with Kayla. I didn't think I was ready with Samantha. Oh, snake. I didn't think I was ready with Colby, and they were still part of my life in a very deep, intimate way.
Okay.
So I just feel like the next chapter, human, is probably going to be that. Like, I'm not going to be ready, but it's going to happen, and we're going to teach each other things that need to be taught, and it's just going to be the next chapter.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because
So what you're saying is you're ready now.
In a way, yeah. I'm also really enjoying being single, so
Yeah,
I'm.
I mean that's totally fine. Too.
I'm like,
Get to the relationship right now too soon.
I'm like, how long can I ride this single thing out?
I didn't expect it all to get into this relationship, but it literally just clicked so well that.
Yeah, I'm open to that.
Yeah.
Like, if that happens, cool. If not, like,
That's
cool.
fine.
Like,
That's cool. I think that's a great place to be. Not like
Yeah.
you're not constantly looking for someone.
no, I'm over that. Like, just because I'm 40.
theology.
I'm 40. Like, I've lived a lot of good experiences, and I'm ready for something deeper.
Right.
Super. Well, I want to say superficial, and I'm not putting that judgment or label on any of my past relationships, but I think just my life and context needs to be less superficial.
Right.
I need to embrace the deep. I am embracing the deep.
Yeah, that's good. Shallowness is boredom to me. I think the reason I love having these talks and why we can keep going is because you want to have these types of talks, and it's interesting and it's great and it's thought provoking and it's not. Oh, hey man, how was your day? Yeah, you see the kids this weekend? Cool. Did you guys new hikes at all? No, same ones. Great. See you in 6 months, dude.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate the we didn't even have to talk, dude.
Yeah, you're wasting my time.
Yeah, I find a lot of things boring, so I like this. This is nice.
It is nice. It is nice. And we talked about that before, where I'm being very careful with who I spend my time with.
Yeah.
Because I just am drained.
Definitely.
Otherwise, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm putting up a facade. I don't.
Exactly.
I'd rather be alone, running the trails.
Yeah.
Like, are we doing this or not?
Yeah.
And with you, man, it's like
It's just constant.
diving in. And I feel like, honestly, with you, man, I feel like there's so many more layers. Like,
Oh yeah.
and it's, I believe in the entourage. I don't know if you've heard me talk about that, but
Explain. Okay.
I feel like there's a lot of energies around us that follow us or are with us or helping us, and maybe some of them aren't. I've experienced them in my own journeys. That might sound like a crazy person, but I don't think I'm crazy.
No.
But I've experienced some.
We're all crazy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I've experienced some angels around me, and I think you have angels around you, and so when we're interacting, we're not the only ones interacting.
Right.
We're not the only draw to each other. I mean, it comes back to humility, right? Like, other stuff is going on besides our conversation right now.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, a lot of things, whether we can see them or not. Which also gets into, maybe it's cool to be with someone and have a superficial conversation on the level, but there could be other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Just by being in proximity with them. That's not said, but is felt, and the actual energy shifts happen.
Right. Yeah. No.
And
I get that.
I've experienced that with people where, like, we didn't put our brain into words, which I can do with you, but stuff happened independent of. Sorry, there's a spider on the phone. Of articulating my mind in real time, which I can do with you and a few others. So everyone wins. Like, I don't want to belittle one's proximity wins. That's the next shirt I'm going to do, by the way.
There you go.
Which is kind of ironic with the COVID. I honestly think that being around another person, just around them, near their meat spaceship, and their energies and their entourage, so much is going down.
Definitely. I feel that.
And that's why isolation is very dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous. And there's been research about this.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I think people would rather be tortured than be put into solitary confinement.
Absolutely. That's my only, like, my biggest fear is isolation. Unless it's like an island, tropical island, leave me alone.
So what is that, right? So
I don't know.
And also I've heard about this concept of the third man or the third being,
okay,
where people that have been isolated, but voluntarily, I think there might be a difference between being involuntarily isolated or voluntarily isolated.
Yeah.
But they're like either doing research up in Alaska for months on end on their own,
right,
you know, or whatever. And this concept of the third being, they feel this warm embrace, which I feel on the trails, so maybe I can resonate with, but like, we just feel this peace, this warmth, this guidance that just wraps around you. And you feel like everything's okay. And I think that's what the Quakers jam was.
Okay.
And the Quakers started the first solitary confinement prison, the penitentiary, Penitence.
Yeah.
That Radiolab episode, I don't know if you've heard it.
Yeah, well, no.
Oh, we talked about it?
Episode, yeah, we talked about it.
And I think that's, you know, two truths and a lie. Like, maybe they found truth in that, like solitude and experiencing third being. And they're like, oh, well, if we just set up this thing, these people that are hurting others, they'll experience the third being.
Yeah.
But I think the difference is
voluntary versus involuntary.
Yeah.
You gotta want to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's the precise slice.
Right.
Is and dude, that's so cool. I've had this. Oh, it's really cool. I haven't thought about this for a long time, but I get really excited about cultures where community is the default,
okay, and
solitude is chosen.
Right.
Okay, so you hear that, like, community is default. Like, we are in community whether you like it or not. Mm-hmm. Also, if you want to go have alone time,
perfect.
You get to go out, like summer camp, right?
Yeah.
Like, where you are in community.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And our culture, and a lot of cultures around the world, not all cultures, isolation is default, and community has to be sought for.
Right.
That's insane. Like, I think that's the poison of a culture. Mm-hmm. And that needs to shift.
Absolutely.
Am I wrong?
No, I think you're right. I think there's a lot of truth to that.
And I haven't thought about that for a while until we just had this walk and talk. Like, oh yeah. Because I've experienced that. You've experienced that.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, I'm in this community. Man, I need alone time. Cool, I get to choose that.
Yeah.
Versus like, man, I feel so isolated. I have to like...
Yeah.
I have to like put effort.
We just... Someone look at me.
Yeah.
Stand 6 feet apart away from me.
Yeah, I mean, well, right now it's amplified for sure. Definitely. But this is just a slice in time.
But yeah, no, I get it.
So then I guess the challenge with that, if that's healthier to live in that culture, then how do you lean into that, creating that culture here and now?
Ready?
Yeah. Get the land. I think
just
is that how we ended? Is that how we ended our last one?
Last time, kind of. It's like, just give me some land, give me some people with the same kind of way of thinking who just want that. We're like,
dude, I'm on board.
Small community.
I'm on board.
If you want to go home or whatever, work on your own thing, go for it.
Well, yeah. I'm on the same frequency, brother. I've wanted
not
that.
Like a culty way.
Not in a culty way.
Give me some land. That's all I want.
I mean, and you said that, your dog and land. So
yeah, I already have my version. My thing it's missing is a large community. Like, I have my 2 roommates, but they're never really home, and they've got their own stuff to do. So we don't really have that community anymore. So it's like we all live there, but we don't really see each other and spend that quality time anymore. But we always have people over and stuff.
It's a taste of it.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's a taste of what I crave, what I want.
So your land needs to be in the woods more.
In the woods more, away from people, unless they're the people who agree with me.
Oh, so you want to start a cult?
That sounded real bad.
It did sound real bad. You definitely want to start a cult.
Definitely not a cult.
You just defined a cult. So I want people on my land, but they can only be there if they agree with me. You are a cult leader. You need to calm down.
Maybe.
You need to calm down.
Maybe that's my destiny.
Well, Waco is a great documentary on Netflix.
I watched it already. It was a great one.
Oh man,
great
it's so
series.
good. So good.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Super terrifying.
But what I loved about it, it showed all sides.
Yeah.
Like no side was right, no side was wrong. Like, back to my point, everyone's amazing and everyone's an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, and the mediator was awesome. The guy that tried to find the middle way.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the aim, is the third way. Hey guys.
Hi. Where do we go from here?
I was just thinking that. My needs and wants, just because I like you. It'd be cool to have dinner together, but if you need to go. But I'm thinking McMinimans.
Oh, I don't know if I have time for McMinimans.
Yeah,
I still have to go pick up my dog.
Then you go.
Introduce the cat.
Then you go.
All right, but we can.
Hi.
Hello. We didn't break the record though.
It's still going.
It's still going. I think we'd have to do another one of these 30 minutes to meet the record. That's fine. We got another time.
Your closet competitive nature. It's interesting. I don't think I have. I'm competitive in a weird way, but like, that's not my jam.
No, I'm casually competitive, like in kind of a joking manner.
Yeah.
You know, like
I
if we
think
were to race up to the top of the hill right now.
I'd be like, cool, you're having a good time being fast.
Yeah.
But I think I'm really competitive with function.
Like function.
Making things function.
Okay.
Like, does that make sense? Like,
Give me an example.
like big picture, like putting the relay race together for my cousins.
Okay.
Like, I like that challenge, and I'm not competing with anybody else. I'm competing with myself.
Right.
Like, to make it happen.
Yeah, self
And
competition.
I find myself like, ugh.
No, I get that. I think that's good though.
Yeah, I'm competitive with myself.
It promotes innovation.
Yeah.
Space time.
I'm my best competitor.
Absolutely. Definitely.
Yeah. That sounds really self-absorbed.
I think it's easy to sound self-absorbed because I think, you know what? I think I have a bone to pick with this whole thing
Okay.
of like the self-deprecation that like everyone has, right?
Yeah.
But why? Like, why are we so against just like giving ourselves a pat on the back? Is it because you're raised that if you do like, oh, I'm so great at this thing, you seem like a hothead.
Mm-hmm.
Your ego's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So we avoid those things at all costs.
Mm.
Like, you know, I'm great at Dead by Daylight, a video game.
Yeah.
I'm great at it.
Own it.
It's just true. Like, and I feel good about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to feel bad for saying that.
Yeah.
It's like,
You don't have to.
we gotta just own some things that we know we're good at and just be okay with being good at.
Yes.
I don't know. I like.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel bad about everything. We shouldn't have to, because then that just promotes self-deprecation. It's like if we're not allowed to acknowledge the good and we only focus on the bad, well, it's just gonna get worse.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I think it's healthy though. I think it's that sweet spot. Like,
Definitely.
When you think your self-image is too low, you're not helping.
Yeah.
When your self-image is too high, you're not helping.
True.
So
Definitely.
that's the struggle, is like,
It's
okay,
definitely a balance.
being accurate with like, okay, I'm good at this. I can contribute this way. Oh, I obviously need to be better this way.
Yeah.
And again, that comes back to being in proximity with others will tell you. People will give you feedback. The more people you're around, different people specifically, the more accurate feedback about yourself and where you need to let go and where you need to embrace will be shown to you. Like, I think the best mirror for self-improvement or whatever the hell, being present is being around multiple different people. I will die on that hill too. Like, if you're always around the same people, you're going to get a weird groupthink.
Definitely.
And if you're alone too much, you're going to get a weird inner thing. Inner Wilson. And if you believe one person's negative thought about you, then they become your god or goddess, and that's not accurate. So, and then with that, having healthy solitude time. I mean, it's a weird. But I will stick with solitude first, like whatever, like your drive, my trail run.
Yeah.
That first.
Right.
First things first, and then.
You know what's funny? I think part of the reason why, when I worked out here, I was in such a good spot is because I had a 45-minute commute both ways.
There it is.
So I got my drive in.
There it is. It's your drive, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that was your savior, or is your savior. I mean, you told me that.
It's my like reflection time, or my zen time. You know, what are we talking about?
You need it.
Yeah. And I don't get it. Well, I didn't get it when I was at the software company. So it was like 5 minutes to work. So I never got my drives in.
So you're going to get a Tesla? Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of getting a Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla.
Tesla truck.
There you go. Tesla truck.
Yeah.
With Elon Musk's face on the back of it.
Yeah.
Or the hood, the bumper.
Or the hood. Dude. All right, man.
It's been good talk.
Always, man. I don't think it's over, but I'm going to hit this. So, have you ever gone to a festival?
Like, one of those like big festivals where people like camp out and stuff? Or
Yeah, like String Summit, or
I have not.
Four Peaks, or Oregon Country Fair.
No.
You haven't?
Am I allowed to talk? Just for everybody?
You're not allowed to talk.
I don't know how it works. I didn't know the rules were.
Oh, this is yours. This is mine.
Yeah, no, it's happening.
Okay.
We're recording. So, when you go into a festival, when you enter Narnia, there's a little of a transition phase where it's like, oh, like the Matrix movie. You seen that?
I have not. I don't know.
Use Harry Potter analogies if you can.
Same, Harry Potter.
Okay.
Same, but different. That's the new trending thing to say. Same, but different for sure. Like you're getting pulled out of your way of thinking and being that is so not what's happening. and a festival, or like something like the Harry Potter or the Matrix or Narnia level, like, just peels back those layers where you're like, oh, this is what's happened. This is what's real. And when Logan and I do our talks, it's that kind of level where it's like, oh, we peel back the layers, and also you see how many more layers we could go. And specifically with science and people that discover space, the more they discover, or the more they think they know, the more they realize they don't know. Same kind of thing. That's what I experienced with Logan. We have chemistry with that. So with the festival vibe, when you join a festival, the whole point of that is that delayering of what you think is real versus what is actually real. And it's the rabbit trail. Right? The rabbit hole, I will say, is more accurate. Not a trail, but a hole. It goes deeper and deeper and deeper. So me and Logan have many more rabbit holes to go down.
We have a lot of holes to explore.
So I'm excited for that. And we talked about the wave. Now, I didn't ask for Logan in my life, but he consistently shows up, and so I'm embracing him.
He showed up again in my life.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we talked about it's important to notice what's showing up because it's a gift. So notice the gifts in your life versus something you're trying to create out of ego or out of force, but surrendering to what's showing up in your life and accepting that and participating with it and enjoying it.
Appreciating it.
Appreciating it, yes, correct. Yeah. So that's the flow we're in.
Yeah.
And so me and Logan just are
Same wavelength.
same. Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool that you guys
Well,
have
not
good
same,
conversations.
same, but different.
It's like we're both surfing the same wave, but we have different boards.
Yeah. So I've done this podcast enough to like where I get with certain people and it's like a flood of talk. Where I don't have to navigate. It's overload. Logan is in the top 4.
Top 4.
Top 4.
Yeah.
Who's number 1? Back to the competitiveness.
No, it's not. There's not number 1. It's the top 4 are the same.
So you like on MySpace when you say like my top friends.
I know.
Yeah.
Look at that. Wasn't that a weird?
That is a weird thing.
Do you remember that? Yeah.
People get jealous and
Yeah.
why am I not number 1?
It was like real talk. Real
Yeah.
talk. He's my top 10. F you if you're not my top 10.
Yeah, when we first were dating, did you have MySpace?
I don't know when MySpace was a thing or
I
not.
remember I got Facebook because and we were together and it was when I had MySpace and all my family in Minnesota had
2000
Facebook. So that's why I got it.
Oh no, we weren't together then.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were
MySpace
together in
was weird.
Minnesota.
No, I know that.
And then I got Facebook eventually because all my family, I wanted to keep in contact with them.
That's literally why I got Facebook too.
And they were all on
Yeah.
Facebook. And I was like,
I
okay,
got
I gave
Facebook
it to
because it was
Facebook.
only for college kids. Literally, like, yeah, when I got Facebook, you had to have a college
You were like
email address
OG
to get
then.
it.
No, you did have a MySpace and you were my top.
I did have a MySpace.
Yeah,
So-
and you were my top.
So remember that moment at the Ridgewalker
Yes.
when your BF at the time didn't want to have fun,
No fun.
and you're like, "Here's this Ninja Turtle."
Yeah. Here's Ninja Turtle. He's fun. I'm enjoying my time right now. I'm gonna go have fun. I don't care what you think. This is my time.
So this isn't about me or the Ninja Turtle. It's about that attitude.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I literally didn't care. I was like,
Yeah.
you're gonna stay here. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go have fun. I don't care.
Yeah. So that
I'm here to
frequency,
have fun tonight.
Yeah.
that frequency, that vibe, is what I think the universe is. It's not me. It's what it is.
Yeah.
And so bringing heaven here is what I'm learning to do more. And it's not about me.
And I like going out and meeting new people and having conversation.
What you're saying is the most important thing. Because if you get stuck in your own silo, if you're alone too much, or if you're with the same people too much, that's dangerous.
I'm always open to like meeting new people.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you know, life is short, and you should go out and enjoy your time and have fun. And
I also don't think it's short. And that's where I get weird. I think it's forever.
yeah,
I think it's forever. I think life's forever.
enjoy your time. Do fun things. Meet
Just
new
because it's
people.
forever doesn't mean you should put up with mundane or boring.
That's the point of like taking responsibility and enjoying. Like we talked about that.
gotta be
Yeah, yeah.
responsible, but you have your times to go out and do fun things.
Yeah.
and
But
be
don't
fun.
feel like don't feel like that, like FOMO is not a thing. Like there's so much more to experience and enjoy, and we get impatient and we think we're missing out. I don't think that's a thing. Like I think it's best just to relax and just embrace the moment. Like when I hit the trails in the morning, I'm winning. Like
Yeah.
I don't have to be in Brazil or watching the best play or no. My time when I run on the trails in the morning is the best time of my life.
It's your zen moment.
Yeah.
So you know like how I like to go on drives.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's where I like think and I
Yeah.
talk and I relax.
Yeah.
This is the trails.
It doesn't have to be. You have to like summit Mount Everest.
I don't know. Honestly.
Okay. You'll think about it.
Yeah.
You'll find it.
You don't know your Zen.
Do you know what your zen is?
I don't think so.
My zen's changed over the years.
What is it currently? Do you know?
I don't have one right now. I need to work on that. I need to probably go back to meditation, that type of stuff. It's worked in the past.
Remember when we did the thing in the field?
That was
with my,
super amazing with your crazy hippie friends. That
Okay.
felt so good.
I know. I remember you saying that.
Stuff like that.
Okay. So yoga. That's a yoga vibe. Yoga doesn't work for me. Yoga does not work for me.
But not like the yoga, like going through the poses, but it's more of the turning off your brain and like just concentrating on the things.
So when you drive, your brain turns off. When I run, my brain turns off. So how does your brain turn off?
I don't know right now. That's what I'm struggling with.
She has hers.
Well, I used to do it, and I was constantly going on daily walks around town and listening to music, just having, it was like my me time of but I don't do that anymore, and I need to, I've been talking about getting back into it.
Can I get another diet?
Dude, it needs to be you with you.
Yeah.
It's like a spiritual time for yourself, almost like a daily ritual or something.
Yeah,
That you,
and it was like,
puts you in a good place for the day or something.
and
Without
I feel
him.
really good
Without him.
after my walks too. I always felt really good.
We can have art together and alone walks.
Yes, together and alone.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jill, though, what's your? You got it. You know it. Alice walks.
It's true. And for a while we were doing really long and a lot of walks, and we haven't when I was unemployed and had nothing else to do in my life because, well.
But did you find that that peace?
Yeah, I found that peace. Yeah.
That's, you know what? That's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about I don't know, I feel like also when I'm a delivery driver, and that's kind of my time in my car, and I listen to my friend, her and I have a really good bond.
Marco Polo's. We were talking about.
Marco Polo, so me listening to her during, it helps me when I drive, listening to that, and it makes me feel good, and I just love our conversations, and then, even though we're not face-to-face, I send it to her. Eventually I'll get a message back later. I listen to it, and then I send her one, so we go back and forth with it. But it's puts me in a really good mood every time I receive those from her, because I feel like I could talk to her about anything. I don't know if that counts. But.
There's no judgment,
There's no right or wrong answer, really.
There's no right or wrong. And so I will say, as a 40-year-old,
It's the theme of the night.
it is most beneficial to aim towards feeling inner peace and love within first.
Yeah.
With that, though, right? Do you feel me?
Yeah.
Other humans are so important. You can't be fully alone. You'll go insane. But also to find peace, to find peace alone is more important.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a weird it's a weird.
Could it be possible that there are people, though, that require additional people or people in their lives to reach that spiritual level that we're talking about when we think about alone time? Kind of like church. You have your relationship with your church community, but there's also God. What if there's people who require that community to reach that spiritual level that we talk about?
Love language.
Yeah?
God language. Communicate, connection language. Who am I to tell you?
Exactly. Yeah.
But then that's the argument. How does one find that for themselves?
Yeah.
Alone in solitude, in their drive, in their walk with Alice, in their
Walking the...
whatever.
So you can't answer the question. It's too hard. You got to find it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a people person, but also my time to myself as well. And I like my relationships and bonds with all the people that I have in my life. It's different, I feel with everybody.
I saw your sparkle just now. I know that's weird in Narnia level, but
Hogwarts level.
everything after that, I get annoyed. I'm and I get it. We gotta function. We gotta pay the bills and But can we just enjoy each other's sparkle?
I love your sparkle.
Another sparkle too.
And you know what
Dangerous.
helps with that? Less is more. Less is more. The less we waste time on self-worth about material things and all the bills and the stuff, and it's all Christmas
All
weirdness.
shit you gotta worry about.
Yeah, it's like just less is more. Less is more. That's the next shirt, by the way.
Yeah, there you go.
Which gets into the farm.
Mm-hmm.
Are you into horses at all?
No,
Would you ride one?
not really.
Would you be around one?
Yes.
Katie, one of our old friends and coworkers,
Okay.
works on a animal wellness farm. Is that what it's called? Animal wellness farm.
Okay.
And where they use horses as therapy animals to help people get through stuff. Or who goes there? Correct me, because I'm going to mess it up.
We're all messed up. Right? And we all need ways to... Yeah. So this is one avenue to help us ground ourselves. And this amazing woman who I did a podcast with, she has created a space where you can ground and be centered. It's just another space where you can be present and just
Find
feel...
your center.
Yeah, find your center, because we talked about this too. Like, all of us have place and purpose. You are an insignificant, significant grain of sand on the beach. The beach cannot exist without all the grains of sand. So you're not better than other grains of sand. We're all grains of sand. Humble yourself, but also empower yourself to know this beach will not exist without you. So it's a weird, sweet spot to live in.
I like that.
So do I. Like, just relax into who you are, because you have place and purpose right here and now, and we all love you and appreciate you, because I could not exist without you, and vice versa. So what's the problem? This world is insane that doesn't get that. Like, and that's a different story. But the point is, that's the aim. It's just you're enough. Right here and now.
I like that. That's very, I like the message and the way you described it like that. The grains of sand.
So tell me about this shirt, Logan.
So Max Tuning, the creator of this brand, his father used to say it, like, I think throughout his entire life. And so yeah, anytime anything ever got hard, it would always be about ever forward. Keep moving past things, and everything will always work. And then his father passed away. So he did this kind of in
Respects to him and
commemoration.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's a great thing.
I love it
It's
too.
a great shirt.
I love it too. Looks good on you.
Fits nice.
It's nice. Ever forward, man.
Yeah.
Dude, big fan.